I can go home now.
Yes.
Exploding dynamite shattered Birmingham's 16th Street Baptist Church.
4 innocent little girls that died because of the color of their skin. And that shook the conscience of the country.
One man was convicted, but police believe several others got away.
We had the chance to change
history.
Our bonus pre-spring could shift into winter part 2. Rain changes to snow and say goodbye to those lovely 40s. Live from downtown Marquette, it's your 19 News.
Good evening, everyone. I'm Sarah Blakely. Tonight on your WZMQ 19 News, a meeting planned to discuss a Dickinson County mail processing facility is postponed. Why it's being moved to a later date. Plus, the state budget office presents an outline of the 2025 fiscal year. We have a breakdown of what's included. And after a Michigan mother is found guilty of involuntary manslaughter for her son's actions shooting 4 of his classmates, what happens next as the father is set for trial in about a month? Your 19 News starts now.
Live from the UP, this is WZMQ 19 News at 11.
We've cooled down a little bit in air. Some of us could see some sprinkles tonight. Hopefully that's not going to be impacting Michigan Tech's Winter Carnival. What a year.
No, I know, what a year for sure. El Nino, okay, yeah, Winter Carnival, the little bit of sprinkle and drizzle that is occurring at the moment out there. It is not keeping anyone away, but I am a little worried about those snow sculptures. However, our temps will be dropping later on in the week. As you can see, the past couple of hours, we've had some rain showers moving in, mostly in the western half. Those winds right now fairly calm, coming out of the south-southeast. They're going to get a little bit gusty. I'll show you exactly when after the break.
Thanks, Air. Developing now, a public input meeting regarding the Iron Mountain Mail Distribution Center has been postponed. The meeting has been in place for several weeks and was set to take place tomorrow. That meeting is to be rescheduled to a new venue within the next couple of weeks. WZMQ's Iron Mountain Bureau reporter Amy Doyle has the report.
UP legislators in both chambers are opposing the transfer of mail operations from the Iron Mountain Distribution Center to Green Bay, Wisconsin. I spoke with Senator McBroom just moments after he passed a response in the Senate. And our Michigan Capitol Bureau captured UP Representative.
The legislature of Michigan, well, the Senate in this case, until the House passes it too, oppose these changes.
The proposed transfer of the mail processing operations from Iron Mountain to Green Bay in Wisconsin represents a further step in the wrong direction.
Michigan's congressional representative Jack Bergman has already outlined his opposition to the transfer. And according to our Capitol press release from today, Jen Hill's drafted opposition was passed. Other Michigan lawmakers are also taking action. Representative Greg Markinen has sponsored a resolution that hasn't yet been voted on.
We don't have the power to make the federal government change this policy. We're asking them to reconsider.
It disregards the unique needs of our communities and undermines the Postal Service's mission to serve the American people.
Senator McBroom and other Michigan lawmakers are concerned about possible contradictory and confusing correspondence from the United States Postal Service, stating the most recent correspondence don't clearly state whether all mail from UP addresses will be processed in Wisconsin or whether it will come back to the UP.
Let us send a clear message that we prioritize the well-being of our constituents over profit margins.
I'm sure somebody somewhere thought that this was a great idea and going to save a lot of money, but the harm it's going to do to the people's trust in the system. I think the thing that we have to focus on is the loss of the processing of the outgoing mail and the alteration of pickup routes across the UP.
Many other lawmakers in Michigan, like Dave Preston, Neil Frisky, and Michigan Senator John DeMoose, are sounding off to keep mail distribution in the Upper Peninsula. Amy Doyle, WZMQ 19 News, Iron Mountain.
We'll have an update on when that public meeting gets rescheduled, and we'll let you know on our website, WZMQ19.com. In her recent State of the State address, Governor Whitmer called for 2 years of tuition-free community college for high school graduates. Bay College President Dr. Narita Hughes says the proposal is a great way to provide more students with educational opportunities. In addition to promoting the governor's goal of getting 60% of adults to earn a college degree or certification by 2023, Dr. Hughes believes the proposal will support Bay's efforts to strengthen the local workforce.
Be a direct tie-in for people to obtain an associate's degree or educational credential and then move on to work. When you're looking at those high growth, in demand, high wage jobs, this is a great alignment for this opportunity.
In the meantime, Dr. Hughes says Bay College plans to maximize current programs to continue making education as accessible as possible. The first draft of the state's 2025 fiscal year budget has been submitted to the state by the Michigan Budget Office. Governor Gretchen Whitmer and the state budget directors presented their outline to a joint appropriations committee today. Our Michigan Capitol correspondent Sophia Murphy was there this morning and has more on our legislature's first steps to setting the next fiscal year budget.
Most of what the governor presented today expanded on issues she first outlined in this year's State of the State.
We have a heck of a record, so let's build on it by enacting another balanced, bipartisan, and fiscally responsible budget.
The budget proposal focused on lowering costs and outlining the ways she hoped to invest in state programs to keep expenses down for Michigan families. Before the State of the State, the Consensus on Revenue Estimates conference starts the budget-making process by assessing the state's profits for the year.
Last month at the Revenue Conference, we heard from the experts. Our economy is strong. Incomes are growing, unemployment is at historic lows, inflation is cooling, and revenues are up.
Last month's revenue estimate update put the state's assets at $32.3 billion for the lawmakers to work with. During the presentation, the governor and the budget director specified their proposals to use that revenue to build 10,000 homes, lower prescription drug and healthcare costs, and prioritize education from pre-K through community college.
No matter who you are or where you come from, if you work hard, you should be able to provide for your family and have a fair shot at a better future.
The governor explained that some of the extra funding had been freed up by paying off state debt ahead of schedule. About $670 million worth of funding from paying off portions of the Michigan Public School Employees Retirement System.
We can use these freed up resources to deliver for Michigan students today without shortchanging our retirees and maintaining our fiscal discipline.
Committees will now begin their work putting together the legislation to address the proposed budget programs. The Michigan Budget Office set a tentative deadline of June 30th for the final submission. From Michigan's capital, Sophia Murphy, WZMQ 19 News.
The next fiscal year begins October 1st, and the state legislature has until that final deadline to approve a final budget. In a groundbreaking verdict, a jury found a Michigan mother guilty of involuntary manslaughter after her son killed 4 classmates in a school shooting. Prosecutors argued Jennifer Crumley ignored warning signs and let her troubled son have access to a gun. Michael George has more on what happened in the courtroom and the precedent the decision sets.
We find the defendant guilty of involuntary manslaughter.
Jennifer Crumley closed her eyes and shook her head as the jury found her guilty of all 4 counts. The first time in U.S. history a parent has been found criminally responsible for a mass shooting committed by their child. It was back in November of 2021 when Crumley's then 15-year-old son Ethan shot and killed 4 students at Oxford High School: Madison Baldwin, Tate Meir, Justin Schilling, and Hannah St. Juliana. Parents of the victims say justice was served. Prosecutors say Jennifer Crumley ignored several warning signs, even refusing to take her son home the day of the shooting after school officials warned about disturbing drawings he made. Her son even wrote that his parents ignored his pleas for help. The jury foreperson says access to the gun was a key factor in the guilty verdict.
The thing that really hammered it home is that she was the last adult with the gun.
The defense argued Crumley had no warning signs her son was violent.
Did you ever believe that your son needed mental health treatment? No.
Legal analyst Joe Tamburino says this case sets a significant precedent.
The next time there's some type of school shooting or a juvenile who commits a very serious felony, they're going to look to the parents. They could arrest the parents.
Crumbley could face a maximum of 60 years behind bars, 15 years per manslaughter count.
Attorney Ven Johnson, representing families of victims of the Oxford High School shooting, reacts to Jennifer Crumbley being found guilty of involuntary manslaughter Tuesday.
It's a very mixed bag of emotions because, of course, it's a very difficult day, another highly important day, but it's one step in many. So when the shooter pled guilty, at least he didn't have the trial. Now they went to a trial and had the uncertainty of a jury verdict, and they've weathered that. And obviously, we're hoping that the jury would find Ms. Crumbley responsible, and they did. And we think that, of course, that this is a pretty strong message that James Crumbley will probably get the same fate, but that's a different jury in a different case, so we'll see. But it's a long but yet emotional and an important day. So this is simply step 2 of at least 5.
James Crumbley, Ethan Crumbley's father, will stand trial for similar charges on March 5th. Your first warning weather forecast is coming up after this break. Plus, funding for the U.S. southern border fails in Congress. Tonight, we'll tell you what comes next. And later, going green. How Super Bowl 58 will be the first to harness renewable energy in Las Vegas. We're back in 2 minutes.
19 News is brought to you by Kirkish Furniture.
Shop our huge selection of Amish-crafted dining room sets at Kirkish Furniture in Houghton. Browse our large in-stock collection and customize with a special order. With 1-year no-interest financing available, plus free delivery. Shop Kirkish Furniture today.
Who will be there when the final whistle blows or the final votes have been cast? Will you? Start a career in the broadcasting industry. Be there. Go to BeThereMichigan.com.
John's Auto is quickly becoming everybody's favorite place to get their car fixed. That's because at John's Auto, communication is the key to service. When we have your car, you can expect to be updated on what's going on. And Craig here will explain repairs in terms I even understand, and I'm only 9. For a better service experience, come to John's Auto Marquette.
And don't forget, we're still your #1 source for a pre-owned vehicle in Marquette County.
John's Auto Marquette.
Here's your WZMQ CBS This is Home Community Calendar.
Watching Andy Griffith has one result.
Makes you feel good, don't it? Kind of a warm feeling right in the middle of your stomach, your head 2 or 3 feet above your shoulders. You know why you're feeling that way, don't you, boy?
'Cause I'm pooped.
The Andy Griffith Show, weeknights at 8 on MeTV 19.1.
I'm Sophia Murphy at the Capitol in Lansing, only on WZMQ 19 News.
Now, WZMQ 19 News First Warning Weather with Ariane Stasek.
All right, here we go. We're on the plane. This is what we're going through. Breezes and gusts, and then we're going to hit those rain showers, and then maybe that snow is heading our way. I've got the snow outlook for that coming up in a bit. But lake alerts, we have a gale watch at the moment for the western half of Lake Superior, so along that northwest coast of the UP. Those waves could get up to 9 feet, gusts up to 35 knots. That starts on Friday, goes until Saturday as of right now. So starts Friday morning. Winds fairly calm right now, a little breezy here in Marquette, primarily coming out of the south-southwest. That's going to change. Take a look this evening. We could have around 33 over there in Ironwood at the moment. And then gusty conditions continuing on our Thursday. We'll have a little bit of a change of direction with those winds primarily coming out of the south before we see them coming out of the west on our Friday, kind of taking over. But it's still very gusty along that northwest coast. Manistee Manistee, Escanaba, and Menominee also seeing some breezy conditions. Like I said, those winds primarily coming out of the west, eventually changing over to northwest winds this weekend, where we could see some lake effect snow. At the moment, though, we've got some sprinkles hanging out here and there. Taking a look at current conditions with the radar, a lot of that activity here in the central portions, basically between Marquette and Munising and all the way down there past between Escanaba and Manistee. Those cloudy conditions, mostly cloudy skies tomorrow. The rain showers start to really increase after 1 o'clock in the afternoon there, but it's going to be mostly along this Lake Michigan coastline and over here in the east. As you can see, maybe some rumbles of thunder, possible lightning bolt here or there, but we could see more rain pushing in on the Wisconsin border there later on in the evening. Then snow showers take over on our Friday morning. Most of that activity, again, coming off of Lake Superior, hence that lake effect snow that we're going to be seeing. Again, we're not looking at a whole lot of accumulation. Those snow showers kind of clearing out in the evening there, but we could have a sprinkle or two on your road for your evening commute, but not a whole lot of precipitation out there, about 0.2 of an inch or less. As far as the snow goes right now, Munising with 10 inches at the moment. I'm guessing in the very, very high terrain areas over there. And then that snow outlook, it's mostly going to be a dusting that we see on our Friday. And then on our Saturday morning, we could see a little bit more. That should be good for that Michigan Ice Fest that's going on in Munising now into the weekend. We're going to have a warm Thursday. Look at these temperatures, 47 to 48. And then we are going to come crashing down on Saturday and Sunday. I've got your 7-day outlooks in 15.
Thanks, Air. The Escanaba Public Library is encouraging both teens and adults to pick up some books during the winter months. The library's Winter Reading Challenge is underway now through March 16th. After picking up a winter reading bookmark at the library, participants can log 6 titles and authors that they read. All genres and formats will be accepted, including audio and ebooks, magazines, and graphic novels.
It's a fun thing to do. You know, people are looking for some diversion in the winter time to take their mind off the weather. And it gives them an incentive to read.
Everyone who completes the Winter Reading Challenge will receive a prize, with local potter Al Hansen providing a limited supply of specialty-made mugs. Now through February 19th, the library is also hosting a free film discussion on its virtual streaming service, Canopy. Just head to WZMQ19.com for more information. Today, the bipartisan border bill that took months of negotiations to craft crashed and burned in the U.S. Senate. Both sides are pointing a finger at each other as frustration grows on Capitol Hill. Our Washington, D.C. correspondent Brendan Scanlon explains what the bill's failure means for the border and how it could impact foreign aid for Ukraine and Israel.
Today in Washington, a busted border deal with tension running high.
We're governing here. Sometimes it's messy.
The House is in chaos.
Democrats point to former President Donald Trump for leading the charge to kill the bipartisan border bill that would have also included aid for Ukraine and Israel.
Donald Trump wants chaos. Donald Trump does not want success at the border. He wants chaos, and if he became president, I doubt he'd ever solve it. It doesn't behoove the Speaker well to block everything because 30 hard right-wing people just want chaos like Donald Trump does.
Supporters of the bill say neither side walked away happy, but that it at least provided something tangible to address the crisis. Some House Republicans say the bill was flawed from the beginning.
Next best isn't necessarily good enough. This doesn't even begin to stem the negative tide of activity that we need to. So it's a negotiated middle ground is the middle ground over a sinkhole, and it's going to go right down the tube.
Senators who penned the bill say it would have provided some of the most comprehensive policy change to reduce illegal crossings in decades.
The Border Emergency Authority in our border bill would have shut the border down, literally, every single day this year. A vote against this bill is a vote for the status quo. It is a vote for continued chaos at our border.
Reporting in Washington, Brendan Scanlon, WZMQ 19 News.
Now that the border bill is dead, the Senate could move forward with just the aid for Israel, Ukraine, and the Indo-Pacific. However, that larger supplemental security package continues to face opposition from many House Republicans who say they want a standalone aid bill for Israel. Meanwhile, Republican presidential candidate Nikki Haley suffered a huge loss yesterday in Nevada, voters choosing none of these candidates over her. Haley has lagged behind former President Trump in the race for the Republican nomination, but she hopes South Carolina will turn things around for her. Our Washington, D.C. correspondent Rachel Knapp spoke exclusively with Haley on the election.
This is about representing everybody and pulling people into our fold.
In a virtual interview with Republican presidential hopeful Nikki Haley, no topic was off limits, like her plan for the economy.
60% of Americans are living paycheck to paycheck. Claw back the $100 billion of unspent COVID dollars that are still out there. Instead of 87,000 IRS agents going after middle America, go after the hundreds of billions of dollars of COVID fraud. So we want to eliminate the federal gas and diesel tax in this country. We want to cut taxes on the middle class and simplify those brackets. And we want to make small business tax cuts permanent.
The Great Lakes, a treasure for our communities, are weathering the impacts of climate change. We asked her about that.
Places like the Upper Peninsula, Michigan, this year they're experiencing not as much snow as they were hoping to get or that they usually get, impacting tourism. What can you do to offset the impacts of climate change?
Well, first of all, I believe climate change is real. We all want clean water. We all want an earth that we can leave to our kids and our grandkids that's healthy. And so in order to do that, we've got to start partnering with our producers instead of demonizing our producers. We want our energy sector to be a powerhouse, but let's use our energy producers to help us with the innovations.
Former President Donald Trump dominated both Iowa and New Hampshire, but Haley is campaigning hard in her home state of South Carolina.
Chaos follows him, and we've got to start really focusing on what we're going to do about the debt and get it back on track, how we're going to get our kids reading again and go back to the basics in education, how we're going to secure our borders once and for all, how we're going to bring law and order back to our cities, and what we're going to do about these wars. We need to be preventing wars, not starting wars.
In Washington, D.C., Rachel Knapp, WZMQ 19 News.
The chairman of the Virgin Islands Republican Party announced Congressman Jack Bergman will stump down there tomorrow during its caucus. Still ahead tonight, Super Bowl Sunday is just a few days away, and this one will be the first to be powered entirely by renewable energy. We take a closer look next.
Sleep better with a new mattress from Kirkish Furniture. We proudly feature made in the Midwest Restonic mattresses. Try one out today and compare other major brands. Let our sleep specialists help you find the bed of your dreams at Kirkish Furniture.
Baraga County Memorial Hospital, continually striving to improve the well-being of our community. Care is not just a service, it's a way of life. February is Heart Month, and BCMH is excited to welcome renowned local cardiologist Dr. Vakivagis from the Keweenaw. We're currently booking cardiology appointments and accepting new patients. Baraga County Memorial Hospital, our family caring for your family.
It's going to be super. The fans, players, coaches, commercials, yes, the halftime show. America's biggest party, and you're invited. TV 19 is going to make your Sunday really special. The address for fun is WZMQ TV 19.
And after the game, we'll all be here with a special edition of 19 News. We'll wrap up the Meyer State Games of Michigan, preview the upcoming Festival of the Sled Dog, and bring you all the latest news and weather. We'll see you after the big game on Sunday.
PTSD isn't something that is just going to go away on its own.
Treatment works. It helps.
There's no shame in treatment.
Just do it. Your world will be so different afterwards.
It's a warrior sickness. It's not a coward sickness.
Never too late.
I guarantee you it'll help you.
It will change your life.
It turned my life around.
You can find peace.
Never thought I could feel this good.
Walk through those doors, take the step.
Go get help. It's the best and bravest thing you could ever do.
Treatment works.
Bonanza, weekdays at 2 on MeTV 19.1. You're watching the award-winning WZMQ 19 News, live and local with Sarah Blakely.
Super Bowl 58 is making history by going green, and we're not talking about the field. According to the hosts, Sunday's game at Allegiant Stadium will be the first Super Bowl powered entirely by renewable energy. Ben Tracy tracks down the source of that energy in a desolate patch of Nevada desert.
Yes, we've got 621,000 panels that make up this array.
The solar farm outside of Las Vegas may look like a shimmering mirage, but its starting lineup is more powerful than any in the NFL.
This solar field right here would be big enough to serve close to 60,000 of our residential customers.
Or a couple homes in one big stadium.
And one big stadium.
That stadium is Allegiant Field, home to Super Bowl 58. The Raiders say it's the first NFL stadium powered by 100% renewable energy, thanks to a 25-year agreement to buy power from this new solar installation owned by NV Energy. Doug Cannon is its CEO.
How much energy does it take to power Super Bowl Sunday?
Yeah, so it'll be over 10 megawatts. That's about equivalent to 46,000 homes.
Sustainability was front of mind as the stadium was being constructed.
Raiders president Sandra Douglas Morgan says the stadium roof is made of a sustainable plastic material that allows in about 10% of daylight but blocks all solar heat, so it takes less energy to cool the building. The grass field is moved outdoors on a rail system to get natural sunlight rather than using energy-intensive growing lights. And everything from grass clippings to food scraps and cigarette butts are composted or converted into other forms of energy.
When you come to a game, you may be thinking about just focusing on the game, but when they hear that and know that we're being conscious of our environmental footprint, hopefully that guest will leave and have that same mindset when they go back home.
This is our main electrical entry room.
The stadium got a pre-Super Bowl visit from U.S. Secretary of Energy Jennifer Granholm.
The fact that renewable power can power a facility like this should speak volumes about what can happen in other communities.
These white boxes at the solar farm house massive batteries that store renewable energy. So when the sun isn't shining, they still have 5 hours of power.
It's one thing to power a Super Bowl, but do you have enough power for Usher?
Absolutely, we have enough power for Usher.
The short answer would just be yeah.
While the moves on the stage and field will be memorable, this Super Bowl will also make history for its superpower.
Of course, food is also a big part of Super Bowl Sunday, and prices may be higher this year, but it's not expected to slow down any business. Michael George explains.
As the Chiefs and 49ers prepare for Sunday, so does the offensive line of America's restaurants.
We call it our game day. We call it our big Super Bowl day.
Super Bowl Sunday is one of Domino's busiest days of the year, selling on average 2 million pizzas. Franchisee Giovanni Gera says they've been preparing for 2 weeks.
It's all hands on deck, down to our office staff. You'll find our office team members working in a store that day.
Whether you're placing an order or cooking at home, inflation has pushed up most food prices. The latest government numbers show dining out is up more than 5%. The grocery store isn't as bad, and one fan favorite is actually cheaper.
Wings are down.
Wells Fargo economist Michael Swanson says fresh chicken wings at the store are down 5%, and the frozen variety are 11% cheaper than last year. That's good news, with Americans expected to eat nearly 1.5 billion wings this week.
We see a continued improvement in the poultry sector, and that's really helped with the price of wings.
Chips will cost about 5% more, while guacamole prices are about the same as a year ago. And Swanson says it's always a good idea to shop for deals.
Supermarkets are aggressively trying to get people into their store.
We do very well.
Gera says with football viewership smashing records, they expect pizza orders Sunday may do the same.
When it's a big game this year, Kansas City, San Francisco, it's going to be a big day across the board.
An all-out blitz to keep football fans fed.
We'll take a break and be right back after this.
Donald Trump is out there trying to win over the voters that matter most, his juries.
There's New with Christopher Nolan, tonight on CBS.
Blakely, eat my snow.
In your dreams, Stasic.
Sarah?
Yeah.
Something's off.
Yeah, I was just thinking that same thing.
I think we forgot something.
Watch the Festival of the Sled Dog powered by NMU. Live broadcast coverage brought to you by Range Bank and Queen City Running Company. Beginning Friday, February 16th at 7 on WZMQ TV 19.
This is home, it's where we get along. This is home, and together we're strong. Oh, this is home. This is home, it's our town, it's our song. This is home, this is where we belong. This is home. Yeah. This is home.
Hi, Paul. Meet Opie Taylor. He's dramatic. A dreamer. I wish that I get a B in arithmetic. But most of all, I think you're the best sheriff in the whole world. he's devoted to Dad. It's Andy and Opie on The Andy Griffith Show.
Weeknights at 8 on MeTV 19.1.
We have a few areas with some clear conditions right now, but those clouds increasing this evening and that drizzle continuing as well. We'll see more rain showers tomorrow. Those temperatures in the morning about 35 to 40, warming up in the afternoon. Breezy conditions as well. And while I've got your attention, MichiganIceFest.com for more information there, or on our website about the weather going on until the 11th in Munising. Could see some flurries coming on Saturday and Sunday over there. And again, those breezy conditions continuing Thursday and Friday. And then we have the Myers State Games, some notable events, curling, figure skating, and sled hockey. Make sure you head to our website or the Myers State Game website to see if there are any canceled events. And then for our 7-day outlook for Marquette, those chances of flurries coming on Saturday and those temps really starting to drop on down.
Finally tonight, a popular Marquette food truck has made its food available year-round. The Burger Bus opened up a new brick-and-mortar location called Lakers off of US 41 in Marquette Township. Lakers serves the Burger Bus's signature burgers, but it also has pizza on the menu. Lakers owner says that even though they have this permanent location now, the Burger Bus isn't going anywhere.
Definitely going to run the bus in the summertime. The bus is a hit. There's something nostalgic about getting a burger from a bus, and we're definitely going to continue that tradition as long as we can.
Lakers is open 7 days a week from 11 to 9. The owner says they plan to expand the menu in the future once they get all settled in. I've been waiting for that to open. I saw the Burger Bus parked there a while ago.
We were just there the other night, Mr. First Warning Weather and myself.
Is it good?
Yeah, of course, but I do love the bus.
Yeah, well now you've got it in a brick and mortar location too. We'll see you back here tomorrow.
Do you hate throwing away food that's gone bad? Does your pantry look like a bad disaster? What if you could keep your food as fresh as the day you bought it and vacuum seal any ingredient? Eric Thies here with my new portable, powerful PowerXL Duo NutriSealer. This incredible breakthrough in technology can savor any flavor while it seals in the freshness. What's the secret? The Duo NutriSealer will remove all the